everyone, welcome back to Rust Rocket Nation. Once again, my name is Junior. Have a new project today. I've actually had it for just like ridiculously long, but I finally actually got it over to my house and I'm ready to start doing stuff to it. Got it over here probably about a week ago. All I've done is wash it because it sat under a tree for 10 years, 12 years, something like that. But let's actually check it out. It's literally right there. You can probably see it behind my big ass head. Anyway. It's a 1990 Toyota pickup. This was back when they were still just called the pickup in America. I know in other places it's called the Hilux, but we just had the pickup until it was the Tacoma. This one was originally a 22RE with a 4-speed that I literally cannot remember the code on now. It's like a G40 or something. I don't know. It doesn't have it, so it doesn't matter. It's rough. As you can see, there's kind of some stuff missing. No motor, no transmission. That's fine. I literally got this truck I traded a buddy of mine. He bought it. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Blah, blah, blah. He bought it from a friend of his that had a Toyota Mini truck, and this was his parts truck. My buddy bought it. It sat at his house for 6-7 years. Eventually we got to talking about it, and I was like, well, what would you want for it? And he's like, well, you have that mini fridge in your house, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I need a beer fridge in the garage, so you give me that, I give you the truck. So that happened. Then fast forward another 6-7 years, and I finally drug it over to my house after he was getting ready to just scrap it because it had been sitting there so long without me touching it. But if you come look, we got some body damage. There's like rust spots and dents and stuff, like nothing super bad, but like hoods and stuff can be replaced. The body's fairly straight. The interior here, as you can see, is pretty stripped out. I might keep the stock dash and just try to make it not look like garbage, or I might just do a flat aluminum dash. No door panels, no door levers, no window cranks, no nothing. Those seats are actually the seats out of an S10 that got thrown in with the truck because my buddy was cleaning some stuff out. Oddly enough, that door shuts better than any other car I own. But the bed's probably the roughest part. It's dented, and like if you look here, it was rolled at some point, except for it wasn't actually rolled. Like, I don't know if you can see in that light. Yeah, you can. That's hammer marks. So they literally just hammered it from the inside out. So I'm gonna have to re-roll these, which is great because that's something I've never done before. But in the back here, it has either 2-inch or 3-inch lowering blocks. I don't know which. The guy I got it from doesn't remember. So it's either got 2 or 3-inch lowering blocks in the back. I want to say it has stock leaf springs, but my buddy said they may have actually removed a leaf spring because I think there's only 2 in that pack and there should be 3. Front's torsion bars, so it's easy enough. I am not going to adjust the front, however, until I get the motor in so I can actually level it off. My initial thought, as it creaks behind me as I lean on it, was that I would do a 1U ZFE swap out of Lexus, the Toyota's 4.0 dual overcam V8, because they literally have one in a junkyard not too far from here. It's like $300, completely unknown if it works or anything. But I was like, hey, that's not a bad starting point to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. Then I got to looking at the price of parts to make that work. There is a company that sells like basically everything you would need. I don't remember their name at the moment, it's on my phone. But like, for instance, just the wiring harness to adapt the motor to the body harness of this was $1,200. I want to say the computer was another like $600 or $700, if not $800 or $900. And like then they had the transmission adapters and like all this various stuff I could do, but it was like ridiculously expensive. And again, I got this truck for trading a $50 mini fridge, so I don't want to do that. Well, I mean, let me rephrase that. I very much want to do that. I'm not going to do that. What I instead decided is I took measurements of the engine bay, and within about 2 to 3 inches from firewall to core support, I should be able to fit a Ford 306. which I know doesn't make a lot of power, but has a ridiculous amount of torque, and you can actually get some good power out of them with a few performance upgrades, because like they were choked to death from the factory, which is fine. But it's also a combination of like the world's most bulletproof truck. Like, I drug this one out from under a field, or out from under a tree, not under a field, out from under a tree. It was covered in freaking mud, like this deep. Like, I'll show pictures here in the video of just like what it looked like when I got it. There's not even that much rust. Like, the frame's still solid, the cab still has a floor, the bed still has a floor. So like, the world's most indestructible truck meets one of the most indestructible engines, the Ford 306. Means I could build a pretty decent street strip truck with like a good amount of horsepower, a ridiculous amount of torque, and it just be like bulletproof. So the plan is to work on it bit by bit, try to get a video out probably once a month. I would like to hit once a week. That's not going to happen consistently. So what I'm going to say is hopefully one video a month. And we're just gonna literally take this truck that is basically a shell. It's not even really a rolling chassis, it's basically a shell, and I'm gonna build it from the ground up, because that is not really anything I've ever done before, and I very much learn by doing. So it's gonna take a lot of research and a lot of trial and error, but I'd like to build something that from basically nothing. What we're gonna be doing today, which probably won't get finished today, because as you can probably tell by the video and the fact that my girlfriend had to turn the flash on, it's getting dark, but I have primer and sandpaper and a little bit of Bondo to actually get it at least all one color, and with ideally no rust spots showing. But before I lose too much more light, I'm just gonna hop into it. So catch you guys in a little bit. All right, everybody, welcome back. Sorry the camera girl is off actually doing important things while I'm messing with my truck, but entire cab's sanded and washed off except the Bondo spots there and there. Still got a little bit left to dry before I can sand them off, but I sanded and washed the entire rest of the cab. So I figure it's time to actually start blasting some paint and doing my best to get this at least one color, even though it will probably be the worst paint job in the world. But we're gonna give it a shot and see what she looks like. Actually, first I had what's probably the first good idea in my life and decided to move the S10 seats out of the blast zone, being that that's pretty much the only interior this thing has. I'm not a professional and I don't know what I'm doing. What could go wrong? I hope y'all like Tony the Tiger and Frosted Flakes, because I'm pretty sure I just tiger striped that like crazy. Well, this has been nothing if not a learning experience. And I think what I learned here is this Rust-Oleum Ultimate Ultra Matte 2x Ultra Cover. One can of it does quite a bit. I got that fender, part of the hood where I wrote "I love you" to my girlfriend and then painted over it. That door, the upper part of the back, and then part of the roof. 2 1/4 cans down, I got most of the cab exterior painted. Got the roof painted, got the back of the cab painted. So, oh, and got the cowl painted. So looks like I'm going to have to make a run at some point, get some more paint. Also got to sand down that Bondo. I started sanding before it was dry. Turns out I'm not good at body work, but it is what it is. I think it's starting to look a lot better being one color, and if the further back you stand, the better it looks. So right before the rain hit, we got everything dry and painted. You can see there's still a little wet spot we're hoping dries, but the cab's painted, fenders, hood, the bed is painted, the back of the cab's painted. So the outside's pretty much done. Got to do the interior and like the door jambs and stuff. But I think if we step back here, it looks a hell of a lot better in one color than it does 19. But thank you guys for watching. This has been Rust Rocket Nation. Once again, my name is Junior, and I hope to see you soon.